It's a new year, and I know God is doing new things in your heart, your ministry, your life, your family. I know you're full of ambition, aspiration. I know that God is putting goals before you, things you didn't do last year, you want to do this year, things you feel pretty sure that you're going to follow through with, but you're scared you're going to quit along the way. I don't know if it's health. I don't know if it's money stuff. I don't know if it's personal spiritual growth, relationships. But I want to start the new year off with you, casting a little vision for you. And I'm going to take an interesting angle on this. Not only am I going to talk to you about the personal vision that God has placed inside of your life and heart, and this applies to you whether you're staying at home with your 4-year-old or raising high school kids, working at the bank, or pastoring a church, leading worship for a youth group, doesn't matter. One of the things that God has called all of us to do is not only to dream big dreams, but to cast vision to others. All I do as the pastor of a church, all I do is receive God's vision and pass it along. That's my job, to receive God's vision, not to create my own, to receive His vision and pass it along, to cast vision. And I think I'm pretty good at it. Now, I'm not very good at many other things. I don't have incredible business acumen. I'm not great at technical details. I'm not very organizationally, administratively gifted. But I'll tell you this much. I live and breathe vision. It's all I think about. Constantly thinking about how can we say this in a way people will remember? Have we said this enough for people to act on? Are we casting this in a compelling enough light to cause people to want to jump up and start a riot? You know, can we say this in a stronger way to get more people on board with what God is doing? And yet at the same time, if I'm the only one casting vision at our church, well, it's not going to go very far because I'm only one man, I'm only one voice, and I can only say so much to so many. And I devote a lot of my leadership attention these days to getting my staff to uncover the unique ways God has given them to unpack vision, to cast it, to pass it along to the next generation of leadership, to their volunteers, to the volunteers who serve under those volunteers, and on down the line so God can move in a big way in our church. This week on the blog, I'm going to share with you some principles of casting vision. You can use these to cast vision to your kids. You can use these to cast vision to the Little League team you help coach. You can use these to cast vision to yourself. Doesn't matter. You can stand up in front of your church and use it. But I'm going to use as my foundational scripture Deuteronomy 34:9, which describes the transition in leadership from the generation of Moses to the generation of Joshua. It's a key concept, and it has to do with the clarity of vision from one generation to another. The Bible says this, Deuteronomy 34:9. Now Joshua, son of Nun, was filled with the spirit of wisdom because Moses had laid his hands on him. So the Israelites listened to him and did what the Lord had commanded Moses. The Israelites didn't do what the Lord had commanded Joshua. The Israelites did what the Lord had commanded Moses. And now Moses is dead and Joshua is moving forward, and God is counting on Joshua to keep the vision front and center. Not to create a new one, but to cast the vision that God had already given. That's what I'm going to help you do this week. How do you take the vision that God has given within your church? How do you take the vision God has given for your family, for your life, for your organization, and then cast it all the way through, all the way from one end to the other, all the way across the spectrum until everybody knows where we're going and why we're going there. I'll give you some practical handles as well as some challenging, motivational encouragements to cast vision from one generation to another.